Welcome back to Extra Time at World Sevens as we wrap up the crazy, fun madness that we encountered both on and off the pitch at Brentford last week. Let's get into it. I'm Rachel.
I'm Sophie.
And this is Extra Time at World Sevens. Well, we wanted to give ourselves a little bit of time between the final day and our wrap-up pod, not least because we didn't want to get lost in the FA Cup final content. Congratulations, Manchester City. You'd think we might have had a nice day off after those 3 days, but no, we were at Wembley. But yeah, we want to take a little bit of time, I think, rather than go straight into a wrap-up so we can properly appreciate the whole tournament.
Yeah, I think everything about the tournament was fast and furious. Not just the football on the pitch, which was, but I think the back-to-back games made it very marathon days, I guess. Yeah. And before you knew it, you've seen like 100 and something goals, and they all kind of merged into one. So it's been nice to be able to think about everything that's happened in the last 4 days or so, 3 days or so, and actually remember some of the games and look back at the highlights and just remind ourselves of what happened from minute 1 to the final minute.
Absolutely. So we are going to look back on all of it. We're going to look back on our predictions that we had in our introduction podcast, see how we got on. Our players of the tournament, our unsung heroes, our teams of the tournament, our favourite walkout, and I think the team with the best vibe. So not just the best team in terms of, who was the best on the pitch, but in terms of like getting the whole spirit of what, like this, it's very American, like the Spirit Award, but like the team that actually got the whole thing. Yeah. Before we get into that though, this is your reminder to make sure you're subscribed wherever you're watching, wherever you're listening to this podcast. Leave us a comment. How much did you enjoy World Sevens? What was your favourite bit? Who were your favourite teams? Who were your favourite players? And do follow us across all of our socials as well. We're at GirlsontheBall on everything. Right, let's get into it. Reflections. Section 1, Sophie. The tournament as a whole. What were some of the highlights? We'll start with that.
So I think it was a really nice way to end the season. And I know there's been a few pieces and stuff about what the place is of World Sevens. I think it's earning its spot as its own identity. And I think being placed at the end of the Barclays WSL season, it was a time for players to be able to come in and play. It was competitive and they wanted to win, but to play with a smile on their face and relax a bit more, and also be in an environment where they can talk to each other, talk to people from different teams, or coaches talk together. And that doesn't happen very often in football because you're so focused on yourself and your team, and it's so competitive that this gave everyone, I think, a bit of a nice, for want of a better term, networking opportunity, as much as the football on the pitch. So,
I can't imagine Tottenham passing a blue sparkly cowboy hat over to the Manchester United bench anytime soon in the WSL.
No, that wouldn't happen. So I think there's that side of things that made it a really fun, enjoyable occasion. I think the players relaxed into it. They really bought into it, as did the teams. Scott Phelan was saying he was so proud about the way that his team represented the club as a whole. And I think they really bought into the idea of what World Sevens is about, and the nature of the tournament and the fun side of the tournament. And maybe there was a bit of a worry before the start with, WSL teams, us English aren't always that fun sometimes, don't embrace the fun sometimes. And I think maybe there was a little bit of also because everyone knew each other as players.
Yeah, I think.
Whereas like last year at World Sevens, it was kind of different teams from different places.
And I think there's a place for both. Like, I think both formats work, and, there's those who will complain about any sort of change in anything at any opportunity. It doesn't matter what changes happen in World 7. There's no strict order that they're following. You can literally do whatever format, whatever way you like. That's the freedom of this competition. And I think people thought it was going to be boring with WSL teams. And actually, there was like an extra element of competitiveness because, as you said, they knew each other, and you were never going to get, having Hannah Blundell, for example, burst out and rip off the Man United shirt to reveal the Everton shirt, like little things like that, players knowing each other, Aurora Galley giving Jess Park a drink after she'd scored a goal, like stuff like that, where there's already relationships that exist and that kind of competition that exists between teams. So, not to say that wouldn't happen with other teams, but, I think it all added to this. And I think it was a really, really fun, I think all the teams really embraced it.
Yeah, I think it really represented the Barclays WSL really well. And even Leicester, who, to be honest, came into it in the most difficult of circumstances, literally a week previous had been, or less than a week previous, had been relegated from the WSL. As players are deciding what they want to do with their futures and all of that. There's a lot of questions around the club at the moment, and for them to come in and embrace it too. And Rick Passmore said it was, as I said in one of the pods, he said it was a really good opportunity for the players to have a smile back on their face. And it's been a horrible season for them in terms of what's happened on the pitch, and it's been really difficult, and there haven't been many smiles around. And for them to be able to just enjoy playing together as a squad, but also playing with other players in the league, I think is or against other players in the league, and just bringing that bit of flair and fun to it, really, really was a uplifting experience. And I think, we're going to talk about the attacking flair a lot, but I think a lot of the game shone as well. I will remember Chloe Selby's double clearance off the line.
Yeah.
So there was defensive skill on show as well. And also the goalkeepers. I think a lot of the goalkeepers shone, from Hannah Hampton in the final to Olivia Peng, who played at quite a lot of the games for Chelsea. Fallon Tillis-Joyce, making some huge saves. Katie Keane made some big ones. Courtney Brosnan, of course, how much I love her and how much I think, how much of a good player I think she is. And of course, the Golden Glove winner, Sabrina D'Angelo.
Is that what I thought it was just like best goalkeeper. I didn't know it was Golden Glove.
I think it was Golden Glove. Well, no, maybe it's best goalkeeper. I can't remember, but
everyone's like, because there were games where there were like 8 goals and stuff like that, and also keepers were switching in it. Anyway, Sabs D'Angelo did have a super tournament, as did, because the thing is, you'd think, wow, this is definitely the best keeper performance, and then another keeper would come along and have an unbelievable game, and then they get switched out at half time. You're trying to keep up like with who is the best, but
and then I think in terms of off the pitch as well, in terms of the media. Our jobs are pretty serious as well, and we have to do the difficult questions a lot of the time, and we have to write stuff that can sometimes be critical, or we go through all of the different phases of the game as well.
We get stressed about stuff and about covering things the right way.
I honestly think we were all watching that with a smile and covering it with a smile on our faces. Being in the mixer and the media access was great. Getting to talk to players regularly, getting so much content I don't even know what to do with. It's just, I think, the whole experience was really, really refreshing at the end of a long season, which is at times felt like a 2-year season, because we went straight from the Euros into the season. So it was a really good energy replenishing opportunity for me, at least.
Absolutely, feeling a little weirdly, even though it was like it was loads of work and it was a really tiring 3 days, you come away from it kind of feeling a bit more recharged, which is a weird conundrum.
I bounced into the FA Cup final yesterday, and I'm not a bouncy kind of person. I literally bounced in with a smile on my face. So I
picked up my camera, I was like, I have to shoot more football again. I've just done like 6 games and then 6 games. You have written down one line here. Do you want to save this for our awards, perhaps?
Can she have her special award?
Yeah.
Okay, well then...
We'll call it that.
We'll keep it
That can be
later.
the award, that name. Okay. Right, we're going to move on to our team of the World Sevens. Firstly,
hard.
It is really hard because there was a lot of really good players in it, and I want to know maybe what formation you might pick purely so you can fit in the players that you want to fit in. Will you go all-out attack? Will you go classic? I know you're not going to go Christmas tree.
I think it's going to be like a 1-1-4 or something like that.
So all-out attack.
All-out attack.
Right.
I'm here for the attack.
Or like a 2-1-3.
Yeah, something like that. So I'm going to go with D'Angelo in goal.
Yeah.
So she was superb. And then you've got Ruby Mace, Jean-François in midfield, Melvin Mallard, Aggie Beaver-Jones, Jess Park, and Katja Schnois.
Okay, so yes, we really are going...
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Because why do you need to defend? You've got a goalkeeper.
Yeah. Sure. Okay, that's good. Now you've got some honourable mentions.
But also, I think, as we saw over the last 3 days, a lot of players were playing different positions.
I have a particular memory of Melvin Mallard doing a bit of a slide challenge on in the box, like sliding in to defend someone running in and coming away with the ball and taking off the pitch. And I was like, how often does she have to do that kind of defensive manoeuvre back in front of her own goal?
Or Mamiki playing, the last lying player for a lot of the Everton's games. And I think there was so much rotation on show that you can't really fix people, other than the goalkeepers, you can't really fix people in positions anyway, so we'll just go with that. Okay, well, give your honourable mentions, because there are quite a few, and it's only fair because there were so many great performances. Yeah, so I'm going to go Vika captain. I think she really shone in this format. Noémie Mouchon, I kind of highlighted her, I think, in the preview pod, if I remember correctly, and I thought she would be really good. And, this is a real opportunity. She hasn't had much game time this year. She's had a rotten couple of years with injury and coming back from that ACL, and so she really was able to show what she could do, maybe alongside like Mira Ramirez, just having time at the end of the season just to show.
But also finding your scoring boots.
Yeah, scoring boots.
I know the format is different, but at the end of the day, putting the ball in between the sticks is the most important thing. And, if you just get that touch back and that confidence back, even in a seven-a-side pitch, that will do the world.
And I know it's the end of the season, but you're laying the foundations for a good pre-season ahead, getting that confidence in your boots.
And you then, when you go to start the next season, you think back almost more fondly, even if you've had a tough season. Your more recent memory about playing is playing sevens where you've had a really good time.
Yeah. And then Hikaru Kitagawa for Everton, I think she was brilliant, really suited to the format as well. Scored a couple of goals, a nice back heel, if I remember. And then also Sydney Gapsett maybe didn't do as much as we kind of expected, and Tottenham didn't do as much as we kind of expected.
We'll get on to that.
But Sydney Gapsett did assist 4 of Tottenham's 9 goals, so that's a pretty good return.
That is a pretty good return. Okay, let's move on to our awards then. First, we're going to look back on what we said in the first episode. So for our winners, I said Chelsea and you said Aston Villa.
You were right.
Okay, thanks.
I was close.
I kind of, you kind of had to twist because we had the dark horse one coming up, and I was kind of umming and ahhing about whether to put my dark horse as my out and out winner. I'm glad I didn't, because my dark horse, Tottenham, did not really turn up in the way that I thought they would. That's okay, because, they did approach this tournament slightly. Because bear in mind, players had a choice as to whether they wanted to be involved in this or not, which is why some teams didn't maybe have all of the players that you would be used to seeing. Tottenham brought 8 academy players, and you did touch on this in a previous episode where they were each kind of paired up with a senior player. So they use this absolutely as an opportunity to give academy players and give them development and stuff like that. So I would like to just put that on record, that is probably why.
And we hadn't probably expected that ahead of time.
Yes, they didn't do what I expected them to do. Sophie, your dark horse, which I think was a pretty good punt, was Everton.
Everton, yeah. I don't know. We went up to Finch Farm a couple of weeks ago and had a little spy on training. We went to watch some training.
You cannot say spy. We went up, we were doing an interview, we were allowed to be there. We weren't spying in football, Sophie. It's a really bad thing to bring in right now. Crikey.
We had an eye on training. We went and had a little watch, and they were doing small-sided games. So I think, as was I imagine all teams were doing, they were practicing their seven-a-side, I think, quite a bit. So they looked good in training, and I wasn't surprised when they kind of hit the floor running in the actual game.
In everything. Okay, Golden Boot. We also got this one wrong. We both said LJ, who perhaps didn't have as much of an appearance in the tournament as we thought. She did start the first game, and I was kind of like, oh, wow, we're seeing exactly what we thought we'd see from her with her tricky feet. But I'm guessing maybe she was rested more, given she's got international break coming up.
I think she picked up a little bit of a niggle.
Okay,
so maybe it wasn't quite at her free-flowing best, and didn't quite get the return that we thought would.
Yeah, I'm not trying to make excuses. We were wrong on that one. Yeah. Player of the tournament, we were also wrong on this one. We both said Signa Gopset. Why did we both go with the same player? That's so boring for the listeners. We weren't right about Signa, but I thought she was good for Tottenham, even though Tottenham didn't have the best tournament. Okay, here are the awards that we're going to go with now. Player of the tournament.
I mean, this is easy, right?
You would think so.
Aggie Beaver-Jones, of course, from Chelsea. 8 goals, 5 assists, including the Rabona assist. Played with a smile on her face. She was so happy out there. She was just enjoying life. And as we mentioned before, had a bit of a rough season in terms of injury, picking up injury that kind of disrupted everything. Didn't quite ever find her flow beyond that first injury. So I think that she really did in Brentford. She really found her flow, and
there was
her scoring boots as well.
There was one side of her game that you think needs some work.
The cartwheel. Yeah. To celebrate, was it the winner?
No, the winner she took off around the pitch. We nearly lost her.
Oh yeah, it was the one before that, I think. And she tried a cartwheel, didn't quite get vertical at all. It was a very bent in half.
That's cartwheel. Like one of those, when like an 8-year-old is like, look at me, watch me do this, and then they do that, and you're like, wow, that was so good.
That was me at 8 years old, because I never perfected a cartwheel.
That'll be you now.
I'd be worse now.
I'd still give you that kind of compliment though. I'd be like, that's so good, Sophie. So you don't have to feel bad because ABJ can't do that. You can do a lot of things. but not that. Unsung hero.
I'm going to go with Aston Villa's Oriane Jean-Francois. I think she was superb. She didn't probably get the headlines because of the stats. I think she scored 1 goal. But she was so key in the middle of the park, and it flowed through her, that kind of direct style.
I really
of football.
enjoyed watching her.
And she really, I think she showed exactly what she can do, even if she wasn't, when you're looking at the stats, she's not at the top.
It's not the only thing to look at, it's not just goals. Okay, team of the tournament.
Chelsea.
I also say honourable mention to Manchester United.
Yeah. I think Manchester United kind of approached it very seriously, but in a good way.
Yeah.
They both of them approached it very seriously. They both wanted to win it, but they both fully embraced the tournament. But I think Manchester United kind of came in, as we've said many a time, knowing exactly what the format was about. So they knew how to set up and they hit the ground running kind of straight away. Chelsea probably didn't know in that first game, but they really came to life in the tournament. Mm-hmm. And I think it was actually a really fitting finale for them both to come up head-to-head.
I think 2 of my favourite games were the first game between Chelsea and Everton and the last game between Manchester United and Chelsea. They were both like high, frenetic, high pace, high energy. And then the way that Chelsea came back in it as well was unbelievable. But Manchester United were really fun to watch, and got to shout out Jess Park and Melvie Mallard in particular. They were superb. And I think had they won the game, Jess Park would have been the one getting the plaudits, understandably. She was super, especially in that final game as well. And I loved, for someone who said she hadn't practiced her celebrations, by the time she got to the final, she definitely had some things. Like, as I said, she ran over and Aurora Galley gave her a drink to kind of cool down, because she was so, flustered at being so good at football. And then she had a little sit down at one point after one of her goals. Maybe scored a goal of the tournament?
Yes, I think so.
Okay, let's move on to your favourite walkout.
Okay, so I was asked my top 3 the other day.
Okay, your top 3 favourite walkouts. Who's asked you that?
On Twitter.
Who have you been talking to about World Sevens other than me? That's ridiculous.
Twitter.
Go on.
Number
3.
So no, I have to give an honourable mention. Because
we're not doing 3, 2, 1.
No. Well, I am. But my honourable mention goes to Mark Skinner, Bad Bunny.
I really enjoyed that one.
I really enjoyed that one, but it didn't quite make my top 3. But it deserves a mention.
It would be in my top 3.
So 3, going Chelsea's Mannequin.
Oh yeah.
That was art. Like literally, I was editing the photos of it yesterday. And I was like, this is literally for sport, make it art. I need to send it into sport, but make it art and get them to do it.
I've actually had one of my photos used by sport, but make it art before. No big deal. Go on.
Number 2, the Everton Cycle of Life, the funeral. Just the creativity. I thought it was brilliant. And I don't know where they get their creativity from. And number 1, Everton, again, with the birth ball.
I think that one especially, like, as good as this Cycle of Life one was, we were prepared for something weird. Whereas the birth ball, we were not prepared for what the hell they were doing. And just the whole way through it, I was just like, I was shooting it and just being like, what the hell?
And I messaged you and said, did Everton just birth the ball?
All the little details I thought about.
But I think also, all the details in terms of it, but also the really touching part was the pictures of their injured teammates on the wall. I thought that was dead cute. And Scott Phelan said it just shows how much care there is. And I don't know, we've been up to Everton many a time to do interviews and stuff, and there is that real family feel about the club, and I think that really transcended across into the football field at World Sevens.
They all say that as well when we interview any of the players. It's something that always comes up. Okay, let's stop talking about Everton and give me your team with the best vibes.
Everton.
As in, like, the team that really embraced everything about the tournament.
Yeah, I think they really embraced it. And this is going to come into the next one as well. So maybe we give the next award first.
Okay, let's go back. Okay, the player vibes bringer.
So I'm going to go with an off-the-pitch player.
Yeah.
A player who didn't actually get on the pitch, but Aurora Ghali, for me, she was just
She's in so many of my photos for someone who wasn't on the pitch.
She had the bucket hat on, like me, but bringing much more vibes than I was. In the semi-final, she had a box, a playmate
like
box,
an ice box type thing,
and a ladle, and she was banging the ladle onto the box to
Mm-hmm.
make the noise. She was doing the drinks in the finale. She was the drink server. For the medal ceremony, she was shaking the referee's hand.
She made sure.
Got a great photo, and then dancing at the end. But I think all the way through, she just brought
from the moment they got off the bus,
Yeah.
Like, we know their press officer, and I hope she had a good time, but she was just saying, like, from being on the bus to being in the stadium, there was no moment where they just weren't having a good time.
They were just embracing the whole thing, and I think, they just brought the vibes.
There was a funny moment where in the semi-final, the second half of the semi-final, and I'm guessing it's for broadcast reasons. I don't know why they didn't just elongate half-time, but you often had like 2 minutes of players just standing waiting to start, and they played Natasha Bedingfield's Unwritten, and I have a couple of good pictures because so many of the Everton players, they're just like belting out, like dancing,
literally,
and then the Man United players are like, and then I'd say about a minute in, eventually they started going, okay, fuck it. Like, I mean, it's starting now. We got to get into it. And like, there's a picture
the referees
of
as well.
Cassius Noyes like singing at the ref. Yeah,
Courtney Brosnan was definitely having a dance on her own in the corner at one point. But yeah,
she was in the shade, my darling.
Yes,
Irish skin.
The Irish skin.
Yeah, I think a lot of the teams really went for it. Really had a good time. I think the walkouts gave them an opportunity to just come together and brainstorm some crazy stuff. And I also loved seeing the managers getting involved. And I feel like every iteration of this sets the bar for the next iteration. So next time I'm expecting
whatever's next.
I'm expecting the managers from every team to be involved in some way, shape or form. Like, no question.
It definitely got a standard to meet.
Absolutely. Okay, for the final time, we have managed to get a bonus interview as promised. Apart from everything that happened on the pitch and off the pitch, in and around the pitch, World Sevens are also trying to do a lot of good work off it through their social impact arm of the tournament. And, is it Rising Sevens, some of the stuff they do? They had them playing
in the first 2 iterations of the tournament, they had Rising Sevens. So they worked with local community groups and kids, I think, to try and have a social impact of the tournament as well, in terms of, making sure that the reach of World Sevens wasn't just focused on the players on the pitch, but to the community within which World Sevens was being held.
Because there was a game that was played in between the semi-finals and the final with some kids, which was nice to see. But this time around, they gave the clubs kind of the license to choose who they wanted some of the World Sevens funding to go to. And if you got to the final and you won it, there was more amounts that went to those different groups. But we spoke to William Smith, who was brought in to help on this side of the tournament to find out more about it.
Well, Will, thank you so much for joining me here. You were brought in by World Sevens to help out with the social impact side of things. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's a testament to the founders of World Sevens that right from the get-go, they've committed to driving social change through their platform. It's very rare in this space. And so right from the get-go, prior to Tournament 1, they said, hey, can you come in and think about how we can leverage our platform for positive social change. And so since the beginning, World Sevens has had 2 core social impact platforms. One is called Community Champions and the other is called Rising Sevens, which we just saw a minute ago. And so through Community Champions, World Sevens is supporting nonprofits that give girls access to football and advance women's advancement more broadly. And through Rising Sevens, it's an initiative to give girls the opportunity to showcase and be out on the main pitch at this incredible spectacle, have a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and encourage them to stay in the game and continue to participate.
We saw at the opening event, there was a player came from each team to talk about the project that is going to be supported by this, which is really nice because it really means something then to each club, the projects that are getting the support.
Yeah, it's a really special adjustment that was made for T3. Was World Sevens made the decision to have every single club nominate a local nonprofit to their jurisdiction that's advancing girls' access to football and that they're supporting. And so, they actually took real time. They had conversations with the players and decided these are the 8 different nonprofits that we'll select. Of course, we did a bit of due diligence just to make sure that they passed basic checks. So they made those selections. Every single nonprofit is receiving $1,000, and then a fun element of the competition, which we're about to see in the final, is the first place team, their nonprofit will receive $5,000, and the second place team, they'll receive $4,000. And so, it's a small token of World Sevens support aimed to grow the game through football, through their platform. And it was really special as well at the welcome party to see one player from each club come up and speak truly from the heart and with knowledge about the organization that their club was supporting.
And just finally, how much have you enjoyed this tournament so far? London's been so warm, no one was expecting it.
London feels like Astria, Portugal did last May, so we're lucky. But I think this is the best tournament that World Sevens has had yet. The atmosphere, the crowd, the way that the UK community has gotten behind it is really special. And I think it's a sign of things to come for World Sevens. This is a very unique platform, and they're also using it to drive social change, which again is not typical in this space. And so hats off to them, and really excited to see it grow.
Brilliant. Well, enjoy the rest of it and enjoy the final.
Thank you.
Now, I'm amazed that we were able to hear him because we thought we were standing in a quiet area of those cabanas, and I was actually back to back with the DJ booth. I could literally feel the DJ music.
How did you ever think we were standing in a quiet area? It was literally behind us.
Because literally a quiet area of people. I thought there's not that many people here. This would be a grand
The speaker was behind us. During one of the interviews, I was so worried the stand was going to fall over because the boom boom was like shaking it, but it didn't come across. It turned out perfectly.
Yeah, but nice to hear. And at the opening night, they also had a player from each team come up and talk about the organisations that they had chosen as well. And it's nice because it means more, doesn't it?
Yeah, and like Aston Villa had Sathi House on the front of their shirt, so they took off their normal sponsor and put that on just to try and elevate it a bit more and make sure that there was more awareness of what's happened.
Love that. Well, that's a wrap. I hope you enjoyed it. I know a lot of the talk and the coverage, understandably, was about the incredible and unique walkouts and goal celebrations, but hopefully we were able to shine a little bit more of a light on the football side of things and those players who really thrived in this format and in this environment. As we said, all the way throughout, it's so nice to see the players with smiles on their faces.
That's what football's about. At the end of the day, it's very, very serious football in many respects from the average weekend.
Yeah.
Careers are on the line, there's funding problems, whatever it might be. But football at the end of the day was born by players. You know, players grew up playing it on the street or on the grass with a smile on their face, learning new tricks and trying to recreate what they'd seen on TV. And I think this tournament really brings that back to the heart of it. It's just having that fun playing football once again.
Someone actually commented it was nice to see us with such big smiles on our faces the whole way throughout as well. And talking about some things maybe we never thought we'd talk about. Everton birthing a ball, Mark Skinner doing his best Bad Bunny impression. I don't know how I'm supposed to have serious conversations with these people afterwards as football carries on. But who knows, maybe we'll be back again for another mini-series of World Sevens, maybe. If we've got our foot in the door and people are interested, maybe we'll be able to go and do another one. Thanks so much for tuning in, for all your lovely comments. And yeah, make sure you stay subscribed so you can keep up to date with the international break, which is now upon us because football is never ending.